Coming up, we'll talk to Athletic Director Barry Collier and show you more highlights from homecoming week. You don't want to miss it. Stay right here on the Bulldog Blitz. Player, coach, and most recently athletic director have all been titled for past Butler basketball most valuable player, Barry Collier. No doubt he has been one piece of the puzzle that has put Butler on the national scene, and we're happy to be joined by Barry Collier. And what year was that most valuable player, do you remember?
It was a very bad year, but it was 1976.
1976. Well, first question, Barry. Great seasons for so many Butler teams. In your mind, what has been the key to all these successes for the team so far this season?
Well, I would say the most important thing is that the play of the student athletes, their ability to make each other better through their teamwork and their effort, their off-season. You know, each of the teams essentially is doing better than they were a year ago. And often when you have some tough times, you know, you get a little bit more grit and you apply yourself a little better. I think that our coaches are doing an excellent job. We have a number of new young freshmen and newcomers that are helping these teams as well. And it's fantastic to see. It's something that if we finish strong, we're going to have some championships to put up in Hinkle.
You've been around the state, seen a lot of different athletic programs. What's one thing that sets Butler apart from other Indiana schools in their athletic departments?
Well, you know, I often get asked that question, Corey, and it's a great question because I start with the answer, though, that every student here comes to Butler and benefits from us being an outstanding academic institution. They benefit from being on a beautiful campus, and we're in a great city. And then we start talking about the sport opportunities and what we have to offer. The combination of how we do things at Butler is actually why I came back to Butler as athletic director, because I think Butler does it better in lifting up the model of student and athlete in the right way, and that we're very serious about being successful in both areas. We don't think one is an excuse for another. And our coaches do a great job of recruiting the right student athletes to come here, that they fit in with their team, but they also fit in with Butler at large.
You're a basketball-minded man, past coach, past player. Looking ahead, right around the corner is basketball season. We're going to talk with Coach Brad Stevens and Beth Kuchar next week. But can you, as an athletic director, kind of give us a little scouting report on the teams this year?
Well, probably not a very good one, because I'm like most folks that aren't there every day. You really don't know how your team is doing unless you're there every day. And even then, right now, this part of the season, you have not gone against outside competition. There's a real key point coming up here in the next week, starting in about a week, and then continuing maybe for the next 6 weeks for both teams. And that is that roles will be defined and starting lineups and rotations and all those. And from a chemistry standpoint of team chemistry, that's a real critical element, because everybody wants to play. It's not a problem that you don't like not playing or not playing as much as you like, but rather can you still contribute to the good of the team and accept that role, at least for today, try to make it better for tomorrow. That's one of the things that I see. I think that our women's team is capable of winning our conference and being, I clearly believe that they're one of the best teams in the league, and I don't think that they all need to be a team that has to play half the season in order to know who they are. They've got a pretty good idea because they have so many players back. The men's team, on the other hand, is made up of a young group, a number of sophomores and freshmen, a few juniors, and they really have to find out who they are and how they'll compete. And we won't know that until we're into 6 or 8 games maybe, when we face different lineups and defenses and offenses. And so it'll be fascinating. Now, one thing I'm convinced is it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we'll have record numbers of folks come watch our teams and students come watch their classmates compete for the Bulldogs.
You hear a term thrown around a lot in the athletic department, students, the Butler way. Can you define the Butler way for us?
Absolutely. The Butler way denies selfishness. It demands commitment. It accepts reality, and yet it seeks improvement every day, putting the team above self. That, for us, is the Butler way and how we describe it. Now, when people see an act of kindness from a year ago from Paige McCracken, who donates her time to grieving children, that too is the Butler way. When you think about it, Paige in that scenario, who was a senior last year, gave of her time and of herself to help another, very unselfish, a commitment to helping people, to improving, to being part of something larger than herself, the team or the community of Indianapolis in that case. So there are many applications. I think that that's how we would describe. It's a method to be successful, but it's something, and it really, to be truthful, it's a catchphrase that can be used in a lot of different areas at Butler that has presented itself through the course maybe of the athletic teams doing well and receiving national recognition, and everyone wanting to know, why are you good? And we've used this as a description of that. But it can be something that you can get a hold of, and it's an identity piece. It's not, the blue flash. Well, what does that mean? Well, when we say Butler, that gives us an immediate benefit through that identity, and the Butler way has been a very positive thing. And by the way, it didn't start just recently. I believe that Tony Hinkle modeled it and taught it and deserves the credit for it. We're just using it as much as we can, and it certainly has some great benefit to Butler.
Barry, thanks again for coming in. It should be a fun ride to see how the fall teams do in their postseason. Absolutely. And right around the corner, winter sports and spring sports and basketball and all that good stuff. Thanks once again.
Thank you, Corey.
When we come back, we'll show you some hoop highlights from the women's basketball scrimmage, and we'll look ahead the weekend to give you the rundown of this week's sports action. Stay right here on the Bulldog Blitz. On Saturday, the women's basketball team gave fans a little taste of what to expect in the 2008-2009 season. The team returns all their starters from last season, including the 1-2 punch of senior Ladea Akande and junior Susan Lester. Akande was named to the preseason All-League first team, and Lester was named to the second team. In the preseason poll, the Bulldogs were picked to finish 5th in the league. Their first game will be against Ohio State on November 14th. The men's soccer team keeps climbing in the national polls. This week's, according to collegesoccernews.com, the team has moved up 4 spots from last week and is ranked 21st in the country. The team holds a 4-0-2 record in Horizon League play. Games against Detroit and Cleveland State remain on the Bulldogs' schedule before they enter league tournament play. Kicking off the month of November, the day after Halloween, the Butler football team will be in action against Jacksonville. Later on Saturday night, you can have a first glance at the men's basketball team when they take on Marion in an exhibition game. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 o'clock. Sunday is a soccer-filled day with the men's team finishing up regular season play and the women's team playing in the first round of the league tournament. The women will battle Detroit in quarterfinal action, and the men's team will play Cleveland State at 2 p.m. at the Butler Bowl. That does it for this week's edition of The Blitz. Next week will be our special basketball preview, where we'll highlight the men's and women's teams. You don't want to miss it. Until then, I'm Corey Stark, and this has been the Bulldog Blitz.